Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So today I'll be telling you that how we can make the directories in the Python, right? So till now we were dealing with the threads and basically we were dealing with many things, right? Now basically we'll be moving towards the directories in Python, that how you can make out the directories, what are the methods, how to use out that methods, what kinds of errors actually come. So these are all the things which that we'll be dealing with out, right? Fine, so let's get started here. So I'll be starting that there are different ways available in the OS module for creating a directory. Just let me let you know very first thing that basically we have a module that is OS in Python programming. Okay, that is modules. We just import it using the import and then OS, right? We just simply write that like that. So basically, OS is a module which is actually used for creating out a directory in Python programming language. So always remember that whenever you are just want to create out a directory in Python programming language, so OS is the module that you would be referring out. Okay, the very first thing to keep in mind, right? Now, next basically there are two ways available for making out these directories. First is os.mkdir, mkdir, right? And the second one is os.makedirs. Okay, these are the two different ways which are available for making out the directories in Python programming language using the OS module. Fine, now I'll be discussing them one by one. So today in this video, I'll be discussing about the os.mkdir method in Python, which is basically used for creating out a directory, right? So let's see that how we just use that out. And what does that actually means, right? So os.mkdir method in Python is used to create a directory named path with a specified numeric mode. This method raises file exist error if the directory to be created already exists. Okay, so basically what it is saying that os.mkdir is a method in Python which is used to create a directory to the whatever the path you give and whatever the name you just want to give out to that directory. It allows you to create the directory of that particular name and at that particular path. Okay, let's say I'm having a path which is, let's say that is C users user. Okay, let's say this is the path. So I just want to create out a directory into that. So I could just put out that particular path in which I just want to create that out, and this will actually create that particular directory in that particular place, right? Now next thing that comes here is that if basically you have made out a directory at a place where it already exists. Let's say I want to make out a directory in C users and then users, so I just want to give out a directory name as, let's say, Python. Okay, Python programming. So if that directory is actually already made out, so in that case what it will show you, it will all actually show you that file exists error. It means that this particular file already exists, so you can just not make out a new file of this particular name into this particular place, right? So it means that thing. Hope you just got for very first thing that OS is the module that is used for doing out all of these things. Then basically there are two ways for making this out. The first one is mkdir and second one is mkdirs, right? And then today we are going to discuss about the mkdir method. So basically it is used to create out a directory named path with a specified numeric mode. This method raises file exists error if the directory to be created already exists, right? Now let's get started and write out a program for creating out a directory in Python programming. Let's see how we just do that particular thing, right? Okay, so very first thing that I just mentioned that we will be using out the module for doing this particular thing. What I will just write here is that I'm writing import and then OS. So as I mentioned, as I'm saying from the very starting that this is the module. So modules need not to be installed onto the devices which you are actually using, right? They need not to be installed. Simply they come already installed, right? So OS is one of the modules that we are using. So I do not need to install this module manually. It already comes installed. So simply I could just write import and then use out this module for my use, right? This is the idea regarding this particular module. Fine. Okay. Now after this, what I'm just showing here is that I'll be putting out a directory. So I'll be making out a directory. Let's say that is make underscore directory. Okay, this is one of the variables in which I'll be storing out the name of which I just want the directory to be created out, right? So I will be just doing this particular thing here. Just 1 second. Okay, now here I'll be just putting out the name of the directory into the between, right? I'll be just putting that out here. So okay, let's say my directory name which I just want to put out here is okay, I'll just write here tutorial directory. Okay, tutorial. and directory. Okay, let's say this is a name for my directory. We just want to keep it out here. Fine, that is tutorial directory. I just put that out here, and I could just give out some space as well in between of this. Fine. Great. Now what I would just do is that I'll be making out a path for the directory, that in which particular path do I just want to make out this directory. Okay. So in that case, I'll be writing that is p path under is code, and that is directory. Okay. Right. Putting the semicolon. Okay. Now my path in which I just want to put out a directory is, let's say, um okay, let me just put that here in the practicals. Okay, in the practicals, let me just put that out. So this is my path where I just want to put out. So let's write that. That is C users user PyCharm project, and then we have practicals. Okay, so I'll just write here C, and then I have here users. Users, then basically I have user. Okay, let me just put out double slash here. Fine, here as well. See users use. Okay, this U is actually small for the user. Okay, again double slash here, and then I'll be this PyCharm projects, right? This PyCharm project, then double slash, and then it is basically practicals for me. Practicals, okay? Right, practicals, and inside this practicals only, I just want to put out the name. Inside this practicals only, I just want to put out my directory which I had named with the tutorial directory. Fine, so this is the path which I mentioned, that where I just want to put out this directory which I am making out here, right? So that is the users user PyCharm project and then practicals, right? I would just come down here. Fine. Okay, now basically what I would just simply use, let's take out a variable, let's say that is path, and I would just write here os dot path dot join into the bracket. I would be first of all writing the path underscore directory, putting out a comma, and here be writing out make directory. Now, what do I have written here? What do I just meant from here? Whatever I have written. See, I had made out a variable that is path. Okay. Now into that variable I'm using out my OS module, and with that OS module I'm using out the path function, and after that I'm using my join function. Now why I am joining this? Because this is my path directory into which I want to put out this directory name which I had made out, right? So my path directory would be C users user PyCharm project and then practicals, and the name for my directory is tutorial directory. So when they both join, so that will actually become C users user PyCharm project practicals, and inside practicals tutorial directory, right? So I just want to put this particular at that place. So that is the reason that why I have used out this join function here, right? Hope you just got the idea. That's why I have just used that particular thing, right? Now what I would just do is that I will make out the directory into the particular path. So I would just write os.mkdir. This is the method which we had used, right? It's the method which we were planning to use out today. So that I have just written out here os.mkdir. Okay, and inside that I'll be putting out the variable in which I had set out the path, that what to store and where to store, right? Fine, and after that I would be using out one of my printf statements to get a confirmation to me that this directory has been created. Okay, I will just write that. Let's say this directory has been, and that is created like this. Okay, so I just want to print out this particular statement that this directory has been created. So I just wrote out that statement, right? Now first of all, once again, just listen to me very much carefully what I'm just telling you right now. I had imported out my OS module because this is the only module with which we can actually make out a directory. Okay, with which we just make out a directories in the Python programming. After that, we had a make a variable that is make underscore directory. Okay, and the name for my directory which I just want to put out here, that is tutorial directory. Okay. After that, I had set out the path for this directory, that at what particular place I just want to make this out. So that is for me C. Okay, just 1 second. Let me calm down. Fine. So for me that is C users user PyCharm project, and then we have practical. So this is the particular place where I just want to create out this directory. Fine. After that, I had made out a variable, and into that variable with the help of the OS module, I have joined both of the directories. Both of directories, the first one that what is my place for the directory where I just want to make it out, and second one is the name for my directory which I want to make out. Fine. And at last, simply I just used out the mkdir method to make out my directory at this particular position, and that particular position and the name of the directory is saved in the variable which is path, right? So I just passed on that path variable into my mkdir method, right? And simply at last, whenever this whole of the things are executed, I just wanted a print statement to be printed that this directory has been created. Right now it's a time for running out the program, so I'll just click right and run directory in Python. Fine, so just have a look that here for I've just got out the message that this directory has been created. Now just have a look that this was one of my places where I just used, this is the practicals, right? This is the one C users user Python project and practical. This is the place where I wanted to create out my directory. And here this particular directory has been created as well, that is tutorial directory. Let me just go on to that particular folder and show you from here. So I would just come at this, okay, I'll just come at this place, then go to the Windows C, then we have users, then we have user. Under that I have the PyCharm project, and inside this I have the practicals, right? So let me just zoom in out here, zoom in. Fine, so this is the tutorial directory which has been made, which we had made right here, right? This was the particular name which I told you, that tutorial directory. So right here, so this is the one directory which has been made into this practicals folder. You can just even check out the the path as well, which I had just put it on here above, right? So hope you just got the idea that how we can just make out a directory in the Python programming language. Just let me just do this here and remove this from the side. Fine, so let me just again revise this thing once more to you, that basically there are two different ways which are available for making out the directory in Python with the help of the OS module. First is mkdir and second one is makeDirs. So we had used out the mkdir method right now. So that is used to create out a directory named path with a specified numeric mode. And this particular method raises the file exist error if the directory to be created already exists. Now let's say here I've just used this out. If I had made out a directory which already exists into this path, so that should have given me an error, that is file exist error. It means that your directory already exists at this particular place. Right, hope you just got the idea that how you can make a directory in Python. I'll be seeing about the next method in the next video, right? So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.